And once I'm going live, it takes a bit of preparing time to live stream this class. We're going to be using the API of Zoom to YouTube, and we'll be able to, which is interesting, see if we can get our live stream going. Okay, so we get our live stream going. It's interesting. Look at this. Let me share my screen with you. It says this meeting is being live streamed. And look at this, folks. Sometimes what happens is you notice it gives me the URL of YouTube. It says video unavailable. This video is private. But then when I copy again the URL, notice it's working really well. You see that? And we have it working well. Notice there's a delay. When we're thinking about it, there's latency, and we'll be talking about latency of when we want to connect and reduce that latency. So I have that part. Everybody see this? We're okay? So let me go to our content and let me go through a couple of housekeeping chores. The first thing for everybody's housekeeping chores, you can put a note that this Monday, September 25th, we will not have class. There's no class this Monday, September 25th, due to the Jewish holidays. We will not have class this Monday, but we will have class on Wednesday. Today, I will give you an assignment due next Wednesday. So put that in your assignments, okay? So we'll have that. At the end of the class, we'll do attendance like we always did. And now let's go to the what's due section. Everybody go to the what's due section, and you can see today was chapter 5 was due. We went over before about data. And today we're going to go over automating trading systems. There's a PowerPoint here. And I asked you to start reading these articles and thinking about what is an automated trading system. We'll be answering those questions, and what are the pros and cons of ATS, which stands for what? Automated trading systems. So our homework for next week, for next Wednesday, Nick, is to do chapter 4, which is security. So we went from chapter 5, which was data, which I thought was more important first to do. And now we're going to talk about how to secure that data. We have as usual, we have an adaptive assignment, we have a quiz, and then we have something called virtual desktop infrastructure. And we're going to be testing, in this case, let me just move this a bit. We'll be, let me move this up here. We'll be testing out some software that runs on a Windows operating system. So if we think about running a Windows operating system, we need computers that are able to run it. What's one way? Dimitri, do you have a Windows operating system? Access to it?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, how?
I have a Windows computer.
You have a Windows computer, great. So I'll let you know that you can download the software directly to your computer. And then Kitty, what kind of computer do you have?
I have a Mac.
A Mac, what operating system?
iOS.
Well, iOS is on your phone. You have Mac OS on your laptop. And you have access on your laptop to Windows?
Yeah, I can download Windows.
You can download Windows.
What?
How? Have you ever done it?
No, I haven't.
So if you don't want to do, you can do with software, for instance, called Parallels, that you can put Windows on your machine. But what we're going to talk about today is if you didn't want to use your machine, or you had a number of people in your company, how could you gain access to a Windows software and where it would be running on another computer remotely? So that's what we're going to be doing today to try out. And that's called a virtual desktop infrastructure. And we're going to be running some software. So let's get all our software running on our Wiley Plus. Let's make sure that Wiley Plus is available. So let me make Wiley Plus chapter 4. Let me edit it. Chapter 4 security. Let me make it permit the users to see it, track the users, and click submit. And now let me go into it. Under what? Information security adaptive assignment. Open the assignment. I see no one's done the work because it hasn't been available, right? So I want to edit the assignment. And I see that I'm going to go to the next step. It's for practice. I'm going to use then information security, and I want to set a due date. And I want to assign it to the whole class, not individuals. And I want to change the due date to the 27th. Again, September 25th, we do not have class. The 27th, we do. And let's change it to the time of 5 p.m. It's available. Save it. And save down here. And we're done with that. And then students it's one due date. Okay. The other thing that we want to be able to do is look at quizzes, assignments and quizzes. And under assignments and quizzes, we have quiz chapter 4. I want to make it edit the test options. I want to make the test available. I want to add a new assignment, make it 2 attempts. And I want to change the due date to September 27th at 5 p.m. Looks good to me. Submit. So Abby, do you see it? Chapter 5 available to chapter 4 available to you.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we got all of that done, right? So I know that that part is done. So the next thing that I want to do under PowerPoints and documents, under PPT 9th edition, you can see that you'll have then chapter 5 that we went over last time of data. And then you'll have for next week, I'll go over the security. Today, I want to go over this one of the automated trading systems. And let me open up that. So basically, what I want to do is a continuation of data. And when I do a continuation of data, we're thinking about software, right? We talked about software being an operating system and application software. So we're thinking about something that's called automated algorithmic software trading systems. And the way this is a great application for big data. And when we think about data, when we think about automating data and we think about the idea of algorithmic trading, we need to know what an algorithm is. So let's think about this. Abby, do you like to cook?
Yeah, I do.
You do. And what's your favorite dish that you cook?
I'm vegetarian, so I cook like a lot of vegetables.
Good. I really like trying myself to be more vegan. And the idea is, do you use a recipe or you kind of wing it?
Usually wing it.
Wing it. And if you use the recipe, could you write your own recipe, you think? Do you have like favorites you think, hey, people could really do something with that? Could you, if you wanted to write a recipe, what would it take to write a recipe?
You would have to like put measurements of like how much of each ingredient and like spices.
Right, how much ingredients, and do you, and is this all raw or do you cook any of this?
Cook, so like cook time too.
And you have to put the time, you have to put, you bake any of it?
Yeah.
So you have to put, basically you have to give it the instructions, right? Of what you're going to be able to do, give it the time, right? What's the temperature? That's basically, when you think about an algorithm, that's really an algorithm. You really know already, Abby, what's an algorithm. Any task that you do that specifically says clearly defined instructions to aim to carry out a task or a process. Everybody needs to know, you think about it, that's an algorithm. When you program, computers really, even though you think about all this intelligent AI as well, they're really not that smart. You basically have to give specific instructions to carry out a task. What they're good at is once you give those specific instructions, they can repeat it much quicker and implement it much quicker than we can as humans. So the idea of taking that algorithm was a set of clearly defined instructions, and then the idea of automated trading, which uses algorithms, is a process of using computers that are programmed to follow what? Algorithms, a defined set of instructions for placing a trade. And remind me, Abby, what's your major?
Finance.
Finance. And what do you think? If we're going to place those trades in order to do what? Do we want to make money or lose money? Abby, this is a difficult one.
Make money.
Make money. We want to generate profit. We don't want to write algorithms You lost me? Do you hear me now? Good,
Yes.
Yeah.
great. I'm in Miami-Dade right now in their Artificial Intelligence Center. I just gave a talk and all of a sudden I'm just enjoying my talk. I'm talking to myself. So at least talk among yourselves. Okay, so where am I? So let me just get back, hopefully. Right, we were there. So, okay. So let's try to get back to the PowerPoint and we'll go a bit on it. So once I have that automated trading center, Abby, to generate those profits, we have something called Kitty high frequency trading, HFT. So in this case, Kitty, blink your eyes 3 times for me. In those 3 times, what high frequency trading is, fractions of a second, computer trades can go in and out. In fractions of a second, computer trades can go in and out, and we have the use of these automated, it's almost think about it like trading robots can do algorithmic software. So what can be done is we can have consolidated audit trails that basically can monitor what trades are being done. And many times the Securities and Exchange Commission basically can follow unusual trades that can cause massive market fluctuations, because 95% of the market now is being traded using these bots. You can think about it, these algorithms. It's kind of scary in one sense. What I'll be asking Nick is, there's advantages to these automated trading systems, and the advantage is that it minimizes emotions. What do I mean by minimizing emotions? Is it doesn't get excited. Notice when it doesn't get excited, so when it doesn't change, it has a lot of discipline, and it has the ability, these systems, to what we call back test. So Nicholas, in this case, if I think about these automated back testing, what do you think back testing means? Testing the past or looking at the present? Back test. Hi, what do you think? Is a back test, would I be looking at the past, looking at the present, or looking at the future? The
I
word
think it's
back test.
looking at the past.
Right. Back testing means we're going to see if we want to test out our strategy, Kai, and if it's not, in this case, we want to look at historical data. If the strategy isn't doing well, why invest? Remember we said, what's our objective? To generate profits. If it's a loser strategy, why should I put money into it? Because guess what? If I do the automated trading center, it's just going to do it quicker. So in this case, I have the ability to back test, and that's what we'll be looking at in the class. It can preserve my discipline. What's good about the computer, it can do the same thing over and over again. I can get into the orders quicker, because if I'm doing high frequency trading, I couldn't even, blinking my eye 3 times, I couldn't even place an order that quick manually with my fingers. And then I could do diversified trading. I could then trade in blockchain. I could trade then in blockchain stocks. I can trade in Bitcoin to the USD. I could do the NASDAQ. I can do the S&P 500. The disadvantages, one of the biggest disadvantages, Kai, is what? Mechanical failures. You just saw that I lost internet connection.
Yeah.
If we were in the middle of a trade, guess what? We could lose millions just on losing that connection. So the disadvantages of these automated trading systems, if I wasn't doing automated trading systems, okay, I lost a little, but in this case, these mechanical failures are not infallible. Notice I can have power loss. I lost my connectivity, right? My losses can come a lot quicker.
It's
So what I
important to
can,
invest in the,
What?
it's important to invest in the mechanics.
yeah, it's important. And also it's important to invest that I have backup session, that I'm not trading only on one computer, right? But it may be my trades can then be in several places. I can have one on premise, but if I'm in Miami-Dade all of a sudden, and I thought, hey, Miami-Dade has great internet connection, but then it got a loss like that, I'm in trouble. So one of the things I can do is I have what I call trading software platforms that allow traders to establish specific rules. And this is, think about it. What are the rules for trading? I have to tell it when to enter the trade, when should it get into the market, and what else? When to exit. Because guess what? Does the market always go linear? No, it's the down and up. And sometimes what do I want to do to maximize the profits? Maybe I want to just go in certain parts. So I need to then actually then specific, when do I enter? When do I exit? And then, and once I program that, it can be automatically executed by a computer. There's several software platforms. One is TradeStation, which is local here in South Florida, in Plantation. There's NinjaTrader, there's MT4, MT5, there's TradingView, there's WealthLab. There's a number of those, and we'll be looking today and for the next couple of weeks, we'll be looking at one platform called NinjaTrader. You can also do social trading where you could do mirror trading, that basically you say, you know what, I don't know what algorithm to use, but guess what, Dimitri? I'll just mirror somebody that really knows how to trade, and I'll replicate it. I'll duplicate it. So there are even a number of sites that will allow you to follow the leader. There's crowdsourcing that basically what you could do is if you got a good trading system, Dimitri, sometimes what you can do is you can license your work. Authors with the most effective algorithms are able to license their work and receive a share of profits. A lot of times there's some people that if you're really a good trader, they'll provide capital, they'll provide research for you. And then what's coming up is incorporating algorithmic trading with what we call AI, artificial intelligence, and a version of artificial intelligence, a subset, is machine learning. So basically, it will recognize patterns. AI is, in that case, dumb in the way it doesn't know a trade from anything else. It doesn't know what entry means. It doesn't know what exit means. All it's looking for is patterns. So basically what you can do is now what's going to happen then, AI is going to look for patterns and increase it. And what is the maximum goal? The maximum goal is to maximize profit. Later on, you'll see, just like AI will do, it will automatically start writing the code for you. You can even tell it what algorithm you want, and it will write the code for you, and you can export it. And this is basically what I want to cover. So based on that, what I want to do today, before I lose connection again, and everybody can turn on their cameras now. Before I lose connection, what I want to do is see whether our virtual desktop, where NinjaTrader is housed, works for everyone. And the way this is done is I've asked the School of Business and the Central IT of the university to set up a virtual desktop infrastructure for me. And what that means is that everyone in my class can gain access to it. The way that we can gain access to it, they tell me they need a username. And is a username, in this case, Ella, going to be unique for the class? What?
Yes.
Yes, remember we talked about primary key last week, right? Last time, right? It seems like last week, but 2 days ago, when we do it, it's primary. So they had to insert everybody's username. How did I get the username? I went to our users in Blackboard and I sent them a spreadsheet with everyone's username. So what I want to do tonight is just everyone go with me to see if it's working properly. And if it is not working properly, before we do our assignments, I want those people that have issues to be able to report back to our IT support team to tell them we have issues. You got it, Ella? So I want to make sure that it works. Hopefully, I don't have enough fingers and toes, but you don't see my toes, that it will work. But guess what, Ella? If it doesn't work, what do? 3 deep breaths, document it, send it to them, and hopefully they'll find out what's happening. Everybody with me? Yes, no? So what we're going to try to do now, is we're going to try to get to the virtual desktop. And then I'll show you what you need to do, and I'll give you kind of like a preview of our assignments that we're going to be doing with it. Everybody with me? Everybody, my sleeves are rolled up, and we'll see if this works out. So I'm going to share my screen. And hopefully I'm going to try to do this quickly because I don't know when my screen is going to be down, right? And now I want to go to Blackboard. So let me see if I can get Blackboard again. You see how one version is down. Everybody go to your Blackboard. Everybody go to the Blackboard. And then I want to go to web links. Go to web links. Brandon, did you go to web links? Kevin, are you at web links? It's good that I see this. So I need to put it on web links. I see it's not, that's why it's good to see. So let me make a copy of this. So go to what's due. Let me just, and I'll put it in web links too. Just so I know. I'm going to edit it. And I'm going to make, it's good that I checked it out. You see this test out. Let me copy this. Let me put it into web links. So I know build. Let's go to a link. And let's put it right in here. And this will do Control C. We'll copy this. Hopefully this will work. Good. And now this will be VDI Ninja Trader. And now let me submit. And we should be able, go to web links all the way on the bottom. Everybody look, Brendan, you have web links there, VDI?
Yeah, I'm opening it right now.
Yeah, everybody open it up now and we'll see what happens. And you should get this part. Kevin, did you get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so it says MHBS, where it's basically Miami Business School, Azure, which is Microsoft's cloud, VDI, which is the virtual desktop infrastructure. So now what I want, you got it, Jared? Are you at this point?
Yes.
Okay, now let's click on it and see if we could connect. And you should see, once I click on it, and I don't know what you have, it should say access local resources, allow the remote computer, because what is it? we're on our desk, we're on our machine and we're trying to access another remote computer. And we want on my computer to have a clipboard to be able to transfer files and to get a printer. Keep it just checked. Luca, did you get it? Where I am? Perfect. Now say allow. And now it says connecting and you need to enter your credentials, your credentials. And now say, so it has s.rushanek at miami.edu. You should put in your credential and your password that you use for and now submit. And now it's trying to put out a desktop, a Windows desktop that I can remotely see, connect to. Now my desktop will look different than your desktop because you can save things to your desktop and it will persist. What does it mean, persistent, Kitty? It will mean that it'll stay there. Later on, you'll upload it to your OneDrive or to a memory stick, to other things that you'll be able to, so you can upload it. Eventually, you want to upload it to where? You want to upload it to the audit area when we do assignments, right? How's it working out so far, Kitty? Give me some feedback.
It's good. I got it to work.
Good. Did you get it to work, Dylan? Thumbs
Yes.
up. Good. Now, Dylan, what is your major again?
Finance.
Finance. So this is just up your alley, right? Where we've been thinking, we're going to do one software, but these are going to be, this is where the trend is going. It's basically whatever you're going to be doing, you're going to be co-piloting with these systems, right? And even if you're not a programmer, it doesn't matter. The systems will get good enough, they'll program. And what you'll do is you'll be monitoring it, correcting it, deciding this dissension with a number of different groups of people. Now we're using NinjaTrader 8 for our assignments. And we're using, do you have two versions on your desktop of NinjaTrader 8, Dylan? Read to me what you have on your machine, because your machine may be different than mine.
Yeah, I have two versions.
What does it say? Read out loud to me what the two of them say.
NinjaTrader 64-bit.
Right. And the other one has nothing on it, right? NinjaTrader 8, that's what mine says. So the other one, just so you know, the NinjaTrader 8 is really 32-bit. It just doesn't say it. The other one is 64-bit and the other one is 32-bit. You remember we talked about bits and bytes and all that things in the class, and we said we always want to do what? We want to maximize the RAM. We want to be able to use the most bits that we can. So which one do you think we should use? The regular one or the 64-bit, Dylan? If we had to do a guess, because we're going to do a lot of, in this case, we're going to be doing we want the system to do intensive processing.
The 64-bit.
Yes. So everybody understand? Did you hear that, Dimitri? We want to use 64-bit rather than 32. The 32 will work, but we want to get a lot of what? Big data, and we want to process it. So we want to have, they write versions for 64-bit. What does that mean? It takes more into RAM at a time. You remember primary storage, it takes more into it. So what I like to do, instead of double clicking, because since we're using this as a virtual desktop, it's much slower than if we were in the lab, or it's much slower than if you had in Windows yourself. So in this case, what I'd like to do is I'd like to right click, or I'd like to use, if you're with the Mac, with the command, and do it from here from open. You can double click, but sometimes what happens to me when I double click, double click too many times and then I get multiple instances. So now I'm going to click open, and that's what I want you to do. What I'm checking now is just to see, and notice it says simulated trading. Now, I've already reported to the IT staff, there's an error here. It seems to work, but we have to, IT has to fix this, that it says NinjaTrader has detected recent changes to your machine ID. For security purposes, you will need to re-enter the account. I don't have access to this, so they're going to have to deal with it. But I think for the time being, it works. So I'm just going to exit it out. And notice it says simulated trading. That's what we're going to be doing in this class. We're going to be using simulated trading. This already starts looking good. Now they're going to be installing these versions in the computer lab in the School of Business in SBA 204. On October 9th, we're also going to be having a test in there. So we'll all be meeting physically on October 9th. But right now, I'm just allowing us to see there are other ways that we can get this. So at this point, I'm going to notice here, this is like a help menu, and look what they're using in this case, Luca. They're using screencasting programs, screen recording, just like we did. They're trying to do it. So we're familiar with this. So why I wanted us to use screencasting program is sometimes if you find something that's great, you can share it, you can upload it. If you're having errors, you can record a 2-minute and then either to me or to someone else or to IT and say, hey, this is not working properly. So I'm just going to close this. Everybody close that. So Christopher, you with me? So far, so good? Perfect. So now we talk about data, Christopher. You remember we want to go big data. Can we get a lot of big data from the stock market? Of course. Christopher, what's your major? Remind me.
Finance.
Finance. I could even do a probability, right? Just say, I bet you're finance, and I'll probably be 80% correct. So in this case, this fills it. So what do you need to do? The first thing, and then put this in your notes, the first thing when we're using a trading platform is we need data, right, Christopher? We need to connect to data. So you're always going to look for connections up here. If you try this out and you don't get data, there's a couple of things that you may have problems with. But the first thing is connections. So everybody click on connections. And Christopher, the first thing that it says under connections is what, Christopher?
Mine's not loading. It's the 64-bit, right?
Yeah. Try
Mine
to get,
still hasn't came up yet.
okay, so we'll try. Otherwise, sometimes retry it again. And we want to make sure that it is work. That's why we're doing it today, Christopher, because if we are really, sometimes it's slow. Sometimes we're having problems, and that's what I want to be able to do is everybody report, because we don't want to be in a situation, Christopher, that it never worked for us, and then we're never able to do. It's a shame we have to waste our time, you know? So see what you can do about it. So
Okay.
Luca, do you have the connections?
It's not popping up. It's just click on connections and nothing drops down.
Really? And what about you, Kai?
Not really working for me.
Are you right there?
Like
What's
I don't see any of the things you have on screen. I don't really have. It's just like I
What
have
do
like the
you
drop
have?
downs, but it just says strategy, instrument, data
Okay,
series.
okay. So why don't you do this? Let me stop sharing. And you share your screen with me. Okay. Now, go to connections on the top. No, not connections there, on the very top. Okay, beautiful. Wait a minute. You know what? Who am I? Whose screen is this? Whose screen am I looking at?
Lucas.
Lucas. Okay, great. So why don't I work with yours? Because we can do it together. Perfect. Everybody see where he's saying connections? What was the difference here? We want to do that line above, right, Lucas? So now if you look at connections, what do you see under connections? It was that drop down. And what do you see, Lucas?
Either kinetic, end of day, playback connection, simulated data feed.
Right. So kinetic, end of day, playback, and simulated. So go back to connections again. Keep it there. What happened? We lost it. We got it in the beginning, huh? Can we click on it?
Yeah, no, it's not letting me click on it now.
What?
It's not letting me click on it now.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird. That's why it's weird. Try it again. We had it before. Yeah, perfect. Now click on end of day. Right? As soon as you see it, I don't know, it's kind of funny, huh? That's the problem with having it. You see how it goes? Stop sharing and let me just see it again. Let me share my screen. Yeah, it's like finicky, huh? Let me show you what it's supposed to be, and then we'll do it. That's the problem here. You see where it says connections here, everybody? It says end of day. This is what we need to do. We need kinetic end of day free. I'm going to click on it. This way, if you try it again, Lucas, you can see my recording and do it over again. And once I click it on connections, you see that, Lucas, I get a green ball on the left-hand corner. Kevin, did you get it?
I'm trying right now, but
Yeah, try. We'll play around. If it's not, we'll see what the issues are. And then the worst comes, we'll try again. But let me get it, since the time is coming to an end right here. Let me just even try to get it one time. And that's the beauty here. We'll talk to IT. Maybe it was that error they need to reinstall NinjaTrader. But we go to connections. We got that part. And now what we want to do is we want to go and create a new chart. So I go to new. I go to chart, and under chart, I can select a symbol. I can do cryptocurrencies, where you can see I can do BTC to USD, BTC to the Euro EUR, but I'm just going to go, just for the time being, I'm going to go to NASDAQ, and I'm just going to pick under NASDAQ, I'm going to pick a stock, and it's AAPL. So if I looked at Brandon AAPL, what does that stand for? You have any clue what stock that is?
Apple.
Apple. And in this case, put this in your notes, even if it's not working properly, we'll have to get IT again to possibly reinstall it. But under Apple, notice I have in parentheses daily. Sometimes by default, if we look to the right under data series, we see the word type. And since we said what, Brandon, end of day, this has to be day. Now, some people trade by minute, some people trade by second, but for our purposes, we're going to trade by day. So we trade by day, we go to OK, and I get here loading a chart of Apple. So at this point, I see a chart of Apple, and you can see here, this is for a year. This is data here. Notice during this time, if I made this crosshair, right here, local here, notice if we invested on March 2nd, and I said, you know when we should get out, Brandon? We should get out in 7/3. I say, oh, that's brilliant. Well, anybody can do that if they look, if they know the data beforehand. But if I wanted to set a strategy to this, and I will do more next week. If I wanted to send a strategy to this, I just go to strategies. I can right click and go to strategies. And what we're going to use in the class is a moving average crossover. So I just double click sample moving average crossover 10 and 25. I highlight it or I double click that. And what's going to be important is that I need to enable that strategy. Because what do we say is going to happen with that strategy? It's going to execute quite quickly and follow the rules. So I have to say enabled. This needs to be checked. And once it's checked, I can say apply. And notice it gives me an order confirmation, meaning that although you have an order confirmation enabled, orders generated by a strategy will be submitted without confirmation. So what's scary about this, Kai, is this strategy will perform all the time when I'm set with a broker. So it's warning me and making it more difficult just by chance to trade with the strategy. And now I say, okay, and you'll see here, there's some dotted green lines, meaning that the strategy was successful. And there's a little bit of dotted red lines that right here it said at this position, let me try to make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. At this position, we need to sell short. So, hi, do you know what sell short means? Brandon, do you know what sell short means? What do you think?
I am not sure.
Okay, it means we're betting it's going to go down.
Okay.
What you can do with, so everybody put in your notes, you basically can think, you can bet that the market's going up and you can win. You can bet that the market's going down, Brandon. Put that in your notes. When you're going short, you're basically betting that it will go down. In this case, Brandon, if you look here, it was going down, but the algorithm said to get out here. So it held it too long. Had we, and later on we can change the strategy, right? But how do we get it out here? You see that, Brandon? Did it go from this point to this point? Did it go down?
Yes.
Brandon?
Yes.
Yeah. And we could have made money, but we were too long in that strategy. That strategy only got us out here where it was up again. So I lost at that point. And at this point, it says buy. And when I buys, if I buy a stock, am I betting it's going up, Brandon, or down, Brandon?
You're betting it's going up.
I'm betting it going up. And guess where it got out? It got out here. Did it go up or down? It went down. So it was those little red dots telling me that I lost. Now, of course, it's not going to be 100%, but what do I care about? If I right click here and go to strategy and performance, what do we say? What do we want our objective to be? To generate profits or generate losses? Brandon, you're on a roll.
To generate profits.
Right. So if I go to sample, MA crossover, go to real-time historical, and I change summary, I make it percent, right? Under all trades, was it profitable or was it not profitable? Brandon, you're on a roll. It says 11.7%. My long trades,
Sorry, I didn't realize my mic was muted. My bad.
what?
My bad. I didn't realize my mic was muted.
Okay. You see it? I'm making it right here. You
Yes.
see this? The profit is 11.7. The long trades were the long trades better than the overall? Brandon,
Yes, they were
they were. How were the short trades? Losers or winners?
losers.
Losers. So the next thing we could possibly do simply is do our algorithm and say, you know what, Brandon, me and you are together on a hedge fund. We say, you know what? We don't want for this strategy, we do not want shorts. Don't make the algorithm shorts, just be out of the market. Just give me just bet on long. And with Apple, it probably was doing pretty well, and it probably is still doing pretty well, right? You got it? And then what I could do is I could basically, in this case, once I have my strategy here, you see here when I write, in this case, then I could right click, and if I wanted to bring it to Excel, what would I do?
You would export it.
Yeah. Export it, take that data, export it. Notice here already, it says Ninja Trading. It gives me the date. Later on, what I could do was I could say, what stock was it? It was Apple. I could give it the name, right? What was the overall profit, right? So I could say here that profit, what was it? Let's say, do we remember? It was, let's say, 11%. And then we could put in, I could put in the name, my name. And then I could save it. And what's my goal in my first assignment? We'll do our first, since it's not working well, maybe we'll even do our first assignment. We'll reserve the lab and we can do it in the lab. Is my assignment then would be what? As a group, each of you pick a separate symbol. Notice Excel is coming up. Pick a separate symbol. And we always want to do what, Jared? Find those that are profitable, right? And try to get what? The maximum. And we can try out a few. And later on, we don't want to be looking at 500 or 5,000 different symbols. Do you, Jared? I don't want to do that, right? But what we want to do is have the system say, go through all 500 S&P and find me the top ones. Wouldn't that be better? Give it the problem. But first, we want to know how to do it before we give instructions. And in this case, notice here already, it says performance, it says 11.7%, the long trades. And what Brandon told us, right? What did Brandon say? Is our next algorithm, maybe we'll look at it and just take out the shorts. We could even go into the code and just eliminate. We don't even need to know coding. We just eliminate where it says short trades. And that's what I'll go over in class with you. But I just want to give you an overview. My first thing is for you to try out and document where it's not working, and then upload, even make a subdirectory, then a folder in the audit area of issues under Ninja Trader. And then we can invite the IT folks and we can send generically what is the issue. That first issue is we're getting that error message, and that could be causing some of the problems. And another thing, you may be too many people on it or whatever. Try this out on your own and see if it'll work, Jared. What do you think? What's your impression, Jared?
I think it's interesting. I've never done stocks like this before.
Right.
So it's pretty cool.
It's cool. And the way that I want to do it, even if you don't go it, you get the idea of how AI is going to be working. Basically, we'll then look at what we'll look at next week is we'll look at the algorithm. What are the different algorithms that we have? And just like Abby was saying in terms of cooking, right? Of giving instructions, we're doing it with the algorithms of the trading. And then what we'll have it do is once we give it one strategy, let the computer find different strategies for us that are what, Dimitri? Maximizing our profits. And can the computer do that? Yes, the computer can take Excel spreadsheets and sort it by what? What is it looking for? Higher numbers we want are better than lower numbers, right? And eliminate what? As many losers as we can. And this is what they call automated trading system. This is what, when we talk about quant traders, and now more and more of the AI is going to take over the coding part. It will take over trying it out, Kitty, trying it out with a moving average of 7 days versus 25 days. Let it do all the combinations. Do you want to do all those combinations? I don't. Let it do it for us. And can it work all night long? Yeah, while we go out for a drink, Kitty, right, and have a nice time in the restaurant, we're working because our colleague, the AI, is computing for us. And then we come back and see what are the issues, what's happening now in the world. Where are we going to take? You think even if it's successful now, in 2 or 3 months or 6 months, you think that same strategy will work? Probably not. So you have to keep on modifying it, and that's what they're doing now. And if you want to be Kitty in wealth management, you'll have that write reports that your end users will be able to know. They understand, because sometimes they say, I don't want just a black box. Tell me what it's doing. People just don't want to be doing it as well. Okay. So even though everything didn't work, did it work for you, Kitty?
Yeah, it worked.
So maybe later on, what we can do in groups, if some people have it and it works for them, you can even work as a group. Each person get another symbol and you work. We'll do like breakout rooms where each person, then you can even set that up. Each person knows, hey, we'll try to get the stocks in our group. We can compete one group versus the other. Who had the highest profits, per month? And that's what they'll do. And the system will keep on doing it. And as the semester goes, supposedly this is how we'll be doing it. It'll be modifying it. Nothing stays the same. Life doesn't stay the same, right? What happened yesterday isn't the same. But what we want to do is we want to work with it, and we don't want to have all our trust in the machine either. Right, Kitty? We can't trust it all the time. We want to verify, but all that busy work and all that hard work, I want the computer to do that. I want the computer to do what it does well, and I want us to use our intelligence what we do well. And together, that's how I think we're going to be working. The genie's out of the bottle, folks. People tell you there's a pause in AI, there ain't going to be no AI. You use it all the time anyways. Who doesn't use Siri? Who doesn't use basically voice, basically even here in Zoom, my voice to my text? That's all done. Autocorrect. All of this is done and it can help. Okay, so we got a deal. We're not going to have class on Monday. We're going to have class on Wednesday. We'll see what it is, and you can play around with it even. Now you even know already. You can even go in that case and explore it. And if things don't get working, Jared, guess what? 3 deep breaths, and what do we need? We now know how. We have our screen recorders that we can record it, and then someone else's, and it can be that it's overloaded right now. We have 40 people on that. And then we also, I reported already to the IT director came in and he saw that there's an error in his machine. He said, oh, don't worry about it, it still works. Well, I bet you that error is not so great, Who wants errors in their software? Okay, any other question? Mackenzie, what do you think? Clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, so what's due for next week? Let's review. What's happening next week? Let's review for everybody that kind of like is spaced out, is, eating or whatever. It's a hard hour, come 6, my stomach is grumbling too.
I can't.
So Mackenzie, what's due for next week?
Record video.
Mackenzie, can you hear me? Kitty, what's due for next week?
We have to do the chapter 4 adaptive assignment and also the chapter 4 quiz on
Right.
Blackboard.
And also we need to write. Okay, and then we'll make sure that Ninja Trader, try to get Ninja Trader. Let me just tell you one more thing while I have my Windows people. Also, the lab, the SBA 204, it's supposed to be installed there. So you can even go there to try it out. But if you go to ninjatrader.com and when you get started, you give them an email and so forth. Once you give them an email and you sign up, on the right-hand corner, they have versions 8 that you can download. So you can download those versions. The other versions of Ninja Trader, you do not want the online version. The online version really isn't the traditional Ninja Trader. It was just a software company that they bought. So we don't want their online version. We want their desktop version. So if you're going to want it on your own machine, on your own Windows machine, go to Ninja Trader and go to the download desktop version. Okay, so now let's go back. We had issues today. Look at that. We had one issue today that Miami-Dade cut off my internet connection. You guys were so great. You stayed in. And what we want now is to go to attendance. So we go to attendance. We're loading. We're gonna start check-in. And we have the check-in of 3101. And what I request, if you have any issues, we need to document those issues so our team can help us figure out what's happening in our VDI, our virtual desktop infrastructure. So it's 3101. Stay with me. A reminder again, Monday, we will not have class. We'll reconvene on Wednesday. We'll go through some more software applications and also security, data security. And I thank everybody that participated and even told me all the issues that you have. What I suggest you do, did it work for you, Dylan?
Yes, it worked for me.
Okay, so a lot of times what we can do is, even if it works for one and not the other, we can work in groups with your group. Questions? Okay, stay with me if you have additional questions. Otherwise, I'm going to stop sharing now. Everybody got their 3101 key. And hi, did it work for you? Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you can help others in your group, huh? Take the initiative, you know what I mean? Be a group
Mhm.
leader for you and you can have it. So just remind everybody in your group, we're not going to have class on Monday. We'll resume.
For the holiday.
Yeah, for the holiday.
I
Okay,
was wondering how I'm doing on participation.
you're doing great.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
And like, because I had noticed that I had missed an adaptive assignment, but I just completed them and now I think
Okay.
I have everything.
Good.
complete.
It's open because in the beginning. Okay.
Okay, so I think I have
So
everything.
that's what, try to participate more in the class, but every time I call on you, you're participating, you know what I mean? And you were a little bit in the beginning, didn't you sign in late to the class? Hi.
Today? No,
No, I mean, in the beginning of the semester, I don't know if there are issues or you're okay.
maybe one time.
Yeah,
I don't
one
know.
time. Okay, so
Yeah.
just keep it up. And so it worked for you, Hi, so have it work for others in your group. Even reach
Uh-huh.
out and ask the others in the group, are you ready for it? So when I give the assignment next Wednesday, you guys will be the top. And then what you want to do, you're the finance major too, hi,
Real estate.
real estate. So it's the same idea in investments.
What is the assignment gonna be next week exactly?
Well, we'll go over it in class. We didn't,
So we're
but
gonna
right
go
now,
over it. Okay,
yeah, but right now I just want to make sure that it's working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That everybody can gain access, can make a chart,
mhm.
right?
Okay, so I'm doing pretty well so far, though.
Yeah, so far so good. Keep
Okay,
it up.
great. I'll
And the
keep it
good
up.
attitude, okay?
Great, yeah. Love the
Okay, so
class.
happy
Thank you.
holidays, okay?
Happy holidays. Bye.
Okay, ciao, ciao. Okay, so let's turn off everything here. We're gonna turn off we're gonna stop on the YouTube.